Welcome back, YouTube friends. I am so glad you're here with me today to see some of the witch touches around my house. Now, you have already seen everything that's back here. I did a bookshelf tour when it was set up on my other bookcase, and I will be doing a tour of my new desk area setup when the construction is all done. But in the meantime, this is what it looks like. So while we are waiting for that full desk setup and eventual full house tour, I just wanted to show you some of my favorite witchy touches that are all around the house. Because it's very common to see sort of a dedicated altar space, to see setups like this, but you really can put these little touches all over your space without them being that noticeable that it is witchcraft. So I wanted to show you some of the hidden things that I have around my house. And first up, I wanted to mention this salt lamp here. So that is in the background of my videos, but normally it's not sitting there. Normally I have it in my living room. So I love salt lamps. I love the way that they look. They're very common, witchcraft or not, because they claim to have a lot of health benefits, that they can boost mood, improve sleep, ease allergies, clean the air. But there's not a ton of scientific research behind that. But I just love the way they look. All the magical properties of salt. So I feel like at least that part is accurate. But I just love having this in the living room, and I do feel like it cleanses, whether that is, actually cleansing the air or just cleansing it energetically. I really appreciate having that around. I've also mentioned before in my living room is my plant. I love him. His name is Carlisle. I've actually been able to keep him alive because snake plants are notoriously easy to take care of. And that is why I picked him in particular. And I've mentioned before that I leave a little citrine sitting on top of him because I feel like that helps him grow. I've just always done that. And obviously I've kept him alive, so I think that it works. And plants are just a great witchy touch because it's a great way of staying connected to nature, especially if you don't have outdoor area or if you live someplace where it's just freezing a good part of the year, which is true in Chicago. There's a few months, January, February, that you just can't spend a lot of time outside. So by bringing that in and caring for that, that's a very witchy thing to do, but also something that doesn't look particularly witchy because there are a ton of people who have plants around their home. That has nothing to do with witchcraft. Candles, of course, I had to mention because they are sitting right next to my plant. I love the 3-wick candles from Bath and Body Works. Who doesn't? So I always end up getting those, at least a few of them, around Christmas time. So I always have them burning, but candles in general are a great witchy touch that I have all over the house. I always set an intention before lighting them. Usually I pick a scent that matches whatever intention I'm planning to set, but that's not always the case. But just in general, having that flame there is very comforting to me. So speaking of flame, this is kind of a fun one that is directly witchy that most people don't do, but I particularly like. So this, what you're looking at, is my dining room light, the chandelier over the dining room table. And what you're looking at on top is this little slip of paper. This was actually a fortune that I got in a fortune cookie at the very end of December. And the sentiment is perfect. I loved it. And it's great for our home. So on the back, I drew a home harmony sigil. So I have that on top of the light because when I was creating the sigil and sending my energy into it, sending the intention, I did that with a candle lit and out in the sun to charge it with light and flame. And I put it on top of the dining room light because it is central to the home, and also because every time that the light then is turned on, which is fairly often, that sigil is recharged because I charged it with light in the first place. So every time it flicks back on, it re-energizes it, reconfirms that home is loving and harmonious energy in our house all the time. Something else that I keep either in the dining room or right by the front door is the salt bowl. I have shown this, like how to make it, over on Patreon. I think that it might be up on YouTube too. But I use a salt bowl to collect the negative energy. So that's why I keep it by the front door or in the dining room, because you have to pass through to get to the rest of the house. And it is just a way to collect the negative energies that either come with us when we go out into the world during the day. We're bombarded with all kinds of energy from other people. So I feel like that is cleansed by this salt bowl. It collects all of that negativity, and it collects the bad energy of anyone else who comes into our home. So they may not mean to be negative or malicious or anything, but they may have just had a bad day or be stressed about something at work, and they are bringing that into our house, and that can linger. So I have the salt bowl set up to collect all of that, and I refresh that usually once a month. But again, if we have like a big party, like we always host Halloween, I have to do it like the 2 days after Halloween. Like it does not, even if I did it the 2 days before, it does not last because there's just so many people coming through. I also wanted to mention crystals. So I keep crystals like kind of everywhere just to match whatever the intention is. So these are the ones that I keep in the bathroom, but there are also ones that correspond to fire energy that I keep in the kitchen. There's also ones that I keep in the bedroom. So I just match whatever the intention is that I want for that room. So particularly in the bathroom, it is calming, loving energy because we are getting cleansed. The water is very calming to me, water element in general, because I am a water sign. So I keep these sort of calming, serene stones within the bathroom, which is also where I keep my Glamour Magic station. I have a whole video on my Glamour Magic station over on Patreon if you're interested, but I also will have a episode on Glamour Magic coming up. Also keep a sleep spray by the bed. I did purchase this one, but they are relatively easy to make, and I plan on reusing the bottle when this one is empty and just remaking it myself with water, calming essential oils that can help you sleep, and little crystal chips. Relatively easy, but I didn't have a spray bottle, so I bought one and decided I will just refill it when it's empty. And of course, it would not be complete without the besom by the front door. So these are the cinnamon brooms. They are always on sale at Home Depot. That's where I got mine. At the fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving time, they're always out. They usually have different scents. This one was cinnamon. Sometimes you really can't smell it anymore, but it's just tucked in with these fake reeds that I have right by the front door. And by placing the besom with the bristles upward is protective for your home and for anyone who comes through that doorway. So those are all the witch touches that I wanted to show you this time. I do have more, so maybe we'll do a part 2 of this, but if these sparked any ideas in your own home, let me know in the comments which ones you might try out, and I will see you next time.